This episode is brought to you by me, Matt Chiano. Go listen to all my stuff everywhere. I don't care where you're listening to it. YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple. I always like to say Deezer because it's a fun one to say. Yeah, That's Me EP is out now. It came out September, I think. 4 songs. They take up 10 minutes of your time. That's it. Bosh. Hello, welcome to Shenanigans with me, your host, Matt Chiano. And with us this week, even though I don't do them weekly, is Welsh superstar, Local Rainbow.
Hello.
I know it's a bit awkward always to be like, oh, hi, to like
Hi.
an invisible crowd. The name Local Rainbow, where'd that come from? I've always wondered.
It's so stupid. It's from my Instagram name. It was just my Instagram name in like year 7.
Okay.
I was like, everyone thinks there's this deep meaning behind it to do with sexuality and stuff. I was like, no, it's just my name on Instagram. I just went with it.
I'm glad I didn't do that because my name would have been like Maddie M24 or something. I had Maddie M24, Maddie Two Guns, and
Oh my God.
Gremlins 52. Although,
Ooh.
to be fair, I mean, Maddie Two Guns would be pretty sick of an artist name.
It's like pop punkish, that is.
Yeah, maybe I should album name. All right, but for the people who don't know, let them know a little bit about yourself before we kick off.
Okay, so my name's Local Rainbow, and I write music in Welsh and English, mostly pop music. Yeah.
Is Welsh your first language?
Yeah, Welsh is my first language. Went to a Welsh school. Yeah.
Was that tricky? Because like I'm not good with
weird,
Welsh.
like, because they teach you in Welsh up until you're 5, and then they make you learn English and reading.
In a Welsh-speaking school?
Yeah, so you learn English second.
Okay.
So you can't read English at all, but you can read Welsh. It's really
That's weird.
That's why I struggle with reading English, but I'm okay with Welsh.
So, okay, do you primarily write songs in Welsh then and then translate them, or do you?
No, I
write
do them in
English?
English,
Yeah.
but I've started doing Welsh now. I'm like, I might
Yeah,
give that a go to
yeah.
see if it's different.
I've seen you post like your Welsh songs and stuff on TikTok, but I didn't know you were Welsh speaking
Yeah.
first. I got friends who are kind of like that too, where they went to like Welsh schools and stuff. They can't speak a word of Welsh anymore.
They just forget it, like, don't
Yeah,
they?
it just goes because like, you know, when you get into like secondary school or comp whatever, that's just all English. Then.
Yeah.
There's none of it's Welsh speaking. Did you? It was the same for you in comp, like English speaking, or?
Well, my comp was Welsh as well. So
Oh, okay.
It was all Welsh.
Right. I got you.
Yeah,
got you.
but you kind of like were told off for speaking English, so it was cool
Yeah.
to speak English then.
Yeah.
And then you come out of there and you're like, I don't know, I want to speak Welsh again because it's not cool.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I get you. I tried learning Welsh. Duolingo tried to teach me.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and I lasted a month or 2
Oh,
months.
it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, and then the bird on there got on my nerves because you keep getting like the notifications and it gets like mad at you and stuff.
Oh
so I,
my
like,
God.
Your music history. When did it all start for you? When did music become a thing? When were you aware of it?
Oh, I was aware of it from when I was young because my dad was in a band. So I was like brought up on music. I had a piano in my living room, so it was constant music in my life. So I was kind of like brought up with it. So I've always known the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff did your dad play in the band?
Prog music, very
really?
long music. Tracks are going for 30 minutes and you're like, oh my God,
Yeah,
it's
that's
so
sick.
good.
Yeah.
So good.
I hate songs that do that now when it takes like 2 minutes before they like really kick in.
Yeah, and they build up and you wait for it. You're like, oh, no. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Does he still do music or no?
Yeah, he still does
He still
it.
does?
Yeah.
What was his band called?
Magenta. Yeah.
Oh, that's such a prog like name
I
for a
know,
band as
yeah.
well. That's class. Okay, so he kind of introduced you to all of it. Are there any like artists in particular he like showed you first? Or?
It's mad though. You'd expect him to be like all into prog, knowing that he's in a prog band. He introduced me to ABBA. That's the first band he introduced me to. I was like,
Yeah.
that's totally different. 2 different things.
Yeah. My the bassist in my band loves ABBA, which is so weird because like we're a punk rock or pop punk band or whatever. And I remember the one day he was late for because I used to pick him up driving to band practice.
Oh, cool.
So I was outside his house texting him. I'm like, I'm outside. I waited for 10 minutes, didn't come up. So I went in. Went into his house and his mom was like, oh, he's upstairs. So I went upstairs. He sat in front of his computer playing along to ABBA on his bass.
God.
And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, the bass lines are class, man. The bass lines are class.
Really are. They really are. I get that.
Yeah. So ABBA was a big one for your dad showing him.
definitely.
That's cool though. Like when you remember that kind of stuff too, because like my dad used to show me a lot of music and stuff as well, and it was weird when I started to get sort of seriously into music when I was I don't remember how old I was. Maybe 12 or 13, I think was when I was I started to develop a music taste. Yeah. And I remember watching the music video to Basket Case.
Oh, right,
and I remember watching the music video to The Real Slim Shady by Eminem. And I was like, I've seen these before, and I couldn't remember where. And it was something in my head was like, I've seen this, like, but I couldn't for the life of me figure out where I'd seen it. And I remember talking to my dad about it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I showed you them." He was like, "I showed you them all when you were young." Yeah, he's like, "I used to show you them all." I'm like, I did not remember that. I just unlocked a memory. It was super weird. Okay, so dad showed you music. That's cool. Was your mother musically aware of anything? Because mine is not.
Yeah, mine's not. Nothing to do with music. No.
Yeah, my mother does not have a musical bone in her body.
I get that.
It's terrible. Like, I've had to pull her off karaoke before because like she can't sing, and her favorite song to do is the only song she does is "Girls Wanna Have Fun," and I've never known someone to go so high pitched and like squeal through a song. And I think it was during the second time she did it when people were looking at me being like, you gotta get it off. Like, so I'd have to be like, man, come on. God. And I had a similar thing where like the music side came from my dad. Do you know how old like you were before you were like, music is something you wanted to do?
I think it was the same age you said, like 12 or 13, around that age when you're like, oh, I could actually do this. Yeah.
Do you remember what it was that you either listened to or saw? You were like,
I think it was on YouTube. I saw something like a video of a girl playing ukulele and then doing covers, and I was like, I want to do that. Yeah. I want to pick up ukulele and do that. Yeah.
Do you play the ukulele?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, it's my first instrument. That is. Yeah.
It's funny. I can't play the ukulele. I've never tried, and I don't know. I've always been. I'm scared of it for some reason. I don't know why. No idea. I don't know. I feel like I'd fall into some like. I'd end up doing some real like cringe stuff with it, and like I can't. Do you ever written a song in ukulele?
No, I haven't done that.
No, never attempted it.
No.
Was there a particular artist when you did start out where you were like, that's something I want? Because for me it was Green Day. Like I used to watch their Bullet in a Bible like live show and documentary all the time, and I was like, that's what I want to do.
That's what I want to be like. Yeah.
Was there anything like that for you or no?
Mine's kind of weird. It was a YouTuber called Dodie Clark where she did like these little covers and acoustic songs. It was her that I saw, and I was like, I want to do that. Yeah. But then I moved on to like bigger artists like David Bowie. Love David Bowie and his concerts and the documentaries there, and I've watched like all 4 of them. I'm a mad fan.
Have you seen Moon Age Daydream?
Yeah, that's so good. One. The footage in it, brilliant.
Yeah, that was a sick one. I went to the cinema to watch that, but they only played it in. They only played it in Newport Cineworld for some reason. Like they didn't play it anywhere else. Weird. Yeah, it was a weird time zone as well because like, I was a latecomer to Bowie and like all that stuff. It was only when I took out an Apple Music subscription because for the longest time I was still buying CDs and burning them to my phone. And then. Yeah, I think I had like a couple 3 months on Spotify and I had a couple 3 months on Apple Music, and I preferred Apple Music. So then I was kind of like, I'm just going to listen to a bunch of like the great albums that I've missed. And I went back. This is only like a couple years ago. It wasn't even that long. And I started from the beginning with Bowie, and I listened to his first album, and I was like, this is not that good.
Yeah, the first
because there's like Laughing Gnome and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I'm a bit rough that one is.
This is nothing what I've heard before. And then I kind of went through, I listened to Man Who Sold the World. I was like, this is better. For some reason, I kind of skipped past Hunky Dory because I wanted to just get to Ziggy Stardust because I knew that was the
really
one.
Good one. Yeah.
And I it's like straight away loved that album to bits.
It's amazing, that album.
Loved it. Like, I don't know what it was. What certified it to me that like I loved the album was the space between Soul Love and Moon Age Daydream, where like Soul Love fades out and goes quieter and quieter and quieter, and he times it perfectly for Moon Age Daydream to start, and it's just loud as all shit, and like that was. I think I'm pretty sure I like rewound it, like go back to that part to listen to that like transition again. Because I love it.
When there's like a story and it goes through like each song,
But it'll be like cool transitions between the songs too, and they all kind of blend into one. I love that stuff so much. So when he did that with those two songs, I hooked instantly. But I got into that album, and I think like a few weeks later or a month or two later, that Moon Age Daydream came out, and I was like, "Fuck, well, I've got to go see it."
Got to see this now.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So what? For me then, when I started out doing music and stuff, what I was obsessed with bands. Like and I did a few of them. I started playing in bands when I was about 16, I think was when I was in my first ever band. And even before that, like a group of friends, we'd always talk about like, oh, we'd start a band together and like this is what our names would be, and we'd talk, nothing would ever happen.
Yeah.
But like, did you start immediately as just solo artist? Or
from the start.
No interest in band stuff?
No, because I see my father be in so many different bands.
Yeah.
And like, even though I'm upstairs, I hear him like talking about how difficult people are in bands, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I can't deal with people sometimes. I'd rather be on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you started doing solo stuff then, like, did you have an idea of the kind of music you wanted to do, like start out with?
Not originally. I didn't have an idea of what type of music I wanted to do, but I just kind of went with the songs I was writing. And I was like, this has got a theme of pop, so it must be pop I want to do. I kind of just followed what I was writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like since then, like I suppose then with like when you record, how does that work? Do you have musicians you like ask to like play on a song? Or?
So my dad comes and helps me and records, so I'm not completely alone.
Right, got you.
Yeah.
So what instruments does your dad play?
So he plays piano, but he mostly does the mixing for me. So he will put the instruments in for me. I will write the basics, so like the guitar and my melody and the harmonies. I'll give him a rough like demo of it, and then he'd go off that and make the instrumental, and then I'll record the vocals myself.
Right.
So it's like a mixture of two of us.
Yeah,
together.
yeah. Okay, got you. That makes sense. Because like, I know from experience doing like solo stuff, doing everything yourself can be tricky.
Yeah, even demos, I'm like,
yeah,
oh god, this is hard.
Yeah.
Trying to get all of it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you ever? So I'm assuming band stuff, is that like off the cards completely? You would never join a band?
I had a backing band for myself. That was fine. That was perfectly fine. But being in a band, doing different music from my own, that'd be so hard for me. Knowing I don't have control over what I'm writing, how I'm performing, what type of style. I couldn't handle that, I don't think.
That's fair. I like with like my band and stuff, I try to like separate the two because I write all the songs for the band anyway, but like I think because it's a different genre, kind of like the solo stuff isn't as like harsh or hard sounding as the band stuff. I can separate it a bit more, and then when it comes to the band stuff, when I'm like, I'll just write it, do the guitars, singing, and then it's kind of nice sometimes to just give it to like Gethin and Sam and be like, here's like what I've got. Here's my idea.
You build off that.
Yeah, like do what you want to do. I kind of do a similar thing now, like with James, who did the drums on 2 of the songs on the EP. Like I'm not a drummer, so like I don't know what sounds great or whatever. So me and Petey will build the song, do like a rough track version of it, and then just show James and be like, here's what we got, here's like what we're kind of going for, you do you, let him do like a couple times and see what he can come up with. Because it's one of the things I've read 2 books about David Bowie, and one of the things that was mentioned in one of them was the way he would like to record other musicians and stuff. So I think it was when he was doing more. I think the albums in the 80s is when or maybe it was in the Berlin trilogy. It might have been during that. But he would bring in whatever musician he wanted to and be like, you got 3 takes. The first take will kind of be what I want and what I think it should sound like. The second take will kind of be like a mix. It'll be like another iteration then of that first version. The third take,
It's all you.
do whatever the hell you want. Do what you want. And like, if it's cool, we then just cut out like the best bits from each one and put it in the final
cool.
song.
I like that.
I was like, that's genius.
Yeah, that's
like I've never thought of that before in my life.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. So that's something I've tried doing with like this stuff now. And I think it worked. I think it's going all right.
Yeah.
When you kind of like record with your dad, then do you make the demos yourself and then show your dad?
So I make the demos in my bedroom, so that's all on my own.
Yeah.
But my dad also has a studio as well.
Okay.
So he's got his own little studio.
Yeah.
So I might go over there and then he'll do the instrumental. Then I might go back, listen to it in my bedroom, do some changes, and then go back and forth until we come out with the final product.
Right. Okay. Got you. Is that something you've always done since the start?
I've done it since I was like, 13. I did my first song when I was 13, but it was under a different name. Oh. And that kind of plays into the local rainbow thing as well, because I wanted to change from my original name and the original song I put out. Because when I put it out, the school reaction to it wasn't good at all. They were like, oh, you know, this is bad for the school because it got popular. Because it got popular, because people bullying me over it. You know, kids are.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll leave it for a bit. So I left school, and then I was 16, and then I changed my name to Local Rainbow. Then I released my first single. Yeah, so that's what happened there.
Rumours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've written that down. I made a note of it. So, how old were you when the initial sort of song then got popular in school and did the rounds and stuff?
That was like 13 or 14, I want to say.
13, 14.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And people were like bullying you over it?
Yeah.
Because it was like bad or like...
It was, I'll be honest with you, I'm not proud of it. I'm
Yeah,
not proud of
it's
it.
a fair song,
It was the first
man.
song.
Yeah.
It was like really badly sung by my voice back then.
Yeah.
It had a cool music video. It's got loads of views on YouTube. It's got like 8.5k, something ridiculous. And I'm like, I just don't want to mention it. I don't want to see it. And people bring it up to me like, do you remember you did this first? And I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. That's why I'm kind of glad that like the first things I ever did, like I never recorded them, because like I've got notebooks on notebooks and notebooks of songs, and I got my very first one, and like the first song I wrote was bad. Like it was just bad. Like I was, funny enough, because I was on the like Newport radio the other week talking about it, because they was like, oh, what's the first song you ever wrote? And like when I was talking about it then, I started to sell myself on the song. And I'm like, the idea is actually really cool. It's basically about this, like, it's about this guy who's like time traveling.
Oh, okay.
But he's time traveling to impress someone he's interested in. So he can
That's
come
a cool
back and tell
concept.
this person all these stories. Like, oh, I saw this in
Yeah.
the past. I saw this in the future kind of thing. And like, as I was talking about it, I'm like, oh, maybe I could like rework it.
Yeah.
And then I was reading like the lyrics that I wrote initially, and like you can clearly tell at the time I thought I was gonna be like the next Blink-182 or something, because I'm writing about like monkeys like shaking their asses and stuff, and I'm like, this is funny, and it's so bad. What was your first song about?
So my first song, that song, was about having a crush on someone. So I was quite shy in school. I didn't have a boyfriend until I was like, I was quite embarrassed until 17.
Okay.
I was quite shy.
Yeah.
But I had this crush on this boy. So I wrote this song. I'm just gonna say what it is. It's called Flower Boy anyway. And it was about like my feelings growing, because like flowers grow. Oh, it was so like cheesy and like Disney Channel-esque vibes.
Yeah.
And it was awful. It was so bad.
And your dad didn't like? Did your dad encourage you?
My dad encouraged it, because he was like, oh, she's doing something out of comfort zone, because I was so shy and like I wasn't doing anything out of school, but I wanted to do this, and he never seen me so confident before. So he was like, it's great, put it out. But now looking back, I'm like, oh God, I wish you didn't.
I wish you said like, yeah, this is not a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could get that. It's really nice though to have like that encouragement from like a parent or someone like important to you and stuff. Like my dad's good as gold for that as well. Like, although he will tell me times if a song I've written is not like the best. Like he did one, I think it was the second song I put out solo, Going for a Walk, which is so. And it was done. It was recorded. I had the final thing. I sent it to him, and then he's like, "Oh, do you think you could change like the chorus or in this part?" And I'm like, "It's done.
It's
like,
done
what do you
now.
mean?
It's
Like,
the
I can't.
final mix,
I can't change it now. Why you tell me I got to change? Why didn't you tell me before?"
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your songwriting then. where do you take your inspiration from for songwriting?
I'd say David Bowie, 1975. Very realistic lyrics and stuff. And Chapel Roan recently, But mostly it just comes from how I'm feeling when I write a song. It'll just come out instantly. Other times I'll get nothing, and I'm like there for months. I'm like, I just want a song. Give me a song. And then one day it'll all come out, and I got like 3 songs in one day. And then I'm like, got nothing for like months. And I'm like, when is it coming back?
Yeah, you start to panic then, don't you? I'm exactly the same. Like, we put out like the EP the other month, and since then I'm like,
I got nothing.
Mine's blank completely. Like, and then I start panicking, and I'm like, is it going to come back? Am I going to be able to write something new?
Am I going to have to get a job, or am I going to have to do something else? Go to uni? It's like what?
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. We talk about like Bowie songwriting and stuff. Do you? He's a big storyteller in his songs, and is that something you like strive towards to do in your songs as well?
Definitely, I love a good story.
Yeah, because I've noticed like with a lot of your songs, they're always, and they might not be, but they always feel quite personal to some extent.
They are.
So would you say that then that your songwriting always comes from personal experiences, or do you make a lot of stuff up? Or
mostly personal experiences, but I tend to bend the truth a bit to make it more dramatic than it is.
Yeah.
So a small incident might happen, then I'll make this massive song out of it, and then none of all that stuff happened around it, but it came from that small experience, if that makes sense.
I got you.
Yeah.
Do you find that kind of like, it's kind of like therapy then in that aspect,
definitely.
just to like get it all out?
It's therapy when you get it all out, but then also because they're so personal, you get people like, is this a song about me? Is this about me? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Or I'm like, no. Yeah, it is.
When I was on that Newport Radio thing, there was a girl there. I think her name was Millie. Millie was her name, and she had a similar thing because it was crazy. Like she's like 16 or something, and she was like, "I had my first song when I was 13," and like out. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, and I thought that was insane. But like her first song was about like a relationship, and she was like, I had so many people asking me, being like, "What do you mean boyfriend? You were 13?" And she was like, "It's not real. It's not real. It's not real." Because like I don't think I've ever sort of done that. Like song,
really?
Like I don't know what it is. Like I think there are times I might write a song and like once it's done, I'm like, oh shit, this is about like that.
Yeah,
like you don't realize it when you're writing it. But most of the time, I like making stuff up.
That's cool. I wish I could do that. See, like all of a song, not true. I wish I could do that, like a fantasy song.
So would you say then to all your songs then is there some element of truth to every single one of them?
Every single one of them. Sadly.
Do you ever get scared that like someone's gonna like point them on and be like, is this about like so and so, or do you not care at this point?
I don't care at this point because like I've had so many people be like, who's the songs about? Who's the songs about? And my answer's always been the same. It's about one person. All of them about one person. So it's
every
an easy
single one
answer.
About one person.
Yeah, and it's an easy answer then. And then people are like, oh, so it's not about me. It's not about me. And this one person, I didn't even know if they know, but it's just easier to say it's all about one person. Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever do you think you'll get past that at some point? Maybe you're like, I'm going to write about something else for a change? Or, because I suppose if it's like a big enough well to draw from, to like get inspiration from, I can see like using that. But like, do you think at some point then you might get fed up or bored of that inspiration and move on to something else?
I think I'm over it mentally, but because like, there's so much I can write from it. I don't want it to end in a weird way. I'm like, I don't want it to end because there's so much I can take from that experience and write about. Yeah. And it's been some of my best songs are from that experience. So I'm like, I don't want to stop it. I don't want to stop it. But I am over it. I just want to keep writing from it.
That makes sense. I mean, a lot of people kind of like take that sort of therapy from personal experiences and like they write diaries or something and I'd be like, I'm thinking of this today kind of thing. And I think songwriting similar to that is you just put in, especially that kind of songwriting, then you just put in a melody and music
over your diary
to
basically.
A diary entry. So the first song Rumors came out 2021. That wasn't the first song you wrote.
No.
But like, did you go through a handful of songs you had written before that one and then decide this is the one I'm going to put out under this new name?
Yeah, I was like going through different songs, picking them, but this was the one that seemed to be more natural. It came to me and I finished it. I actually finished the song.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
hard to finish a song. Sometimes I start a song, I don't finish it. Start another one,
Yeah.
don't finish it. But I finished this one. I thought, I want to try again. I'm going to try again with a different name. And I'm going to go all out with a music video, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you find, or it could change every time, I suppose, but do you find that like a chorus or a verse might come to you first, or is it like a melody, like what gets stuck in your head? We're like, I gotta write this down.
I think lyrics come to me first, then I write the melody around the lyrics. Yeah.
Okay. Because usually for me, like, I'll be honest, usually a chorus comes first, and I don't realize it's a chorus until I've written everything down, and I'm like, oh, that's actually like the best part. Like, I'm
Part of it,
saving that for
yeah.
the chorus. That happens a lot. But sometimes it's never just a verse I'll start with. It's always, it's either a chorus, or if something comes to me that isn't a chorus, it'll be like a weird, like intro rather than a verse.
Yeah.
Like the last band song we put out, Guns, Blankets and Caskets, I think the first thing that came to me then was the intro. And then thankfully everything just kind of came easy enough after that. But there are a lot of songs that like I've got that are half finished.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it always sucks when like you got a half finished song that you're like, I know this is good. And I know like what I've got here so far is class.
It's really good, yeah.
But it's figuring out the rest of it.
Yeah.
Like, do you think a lot about like song structures and stuff?
Yeah, I do. I think about that a lot. And I also think about like visually as well. When I think
Like
of
music
doing,
videos and stuff?
When I do a song, like I think, how am I going to promote this? It's mad. Because like in this day and age, you got to think, how are you going to put it out? Because
Yeah.
people are not just going to go, oh, I'm going to listen to this.
Yeah.
They're going to see it first. So I'm like, I need to think of a story or a character like David Bowie does that's going to get people's attention.
Yeah.
With each song, I've tried to do like a different sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's always like, no. Yeah.
That's kind of, it is tricky nowadays to kind of do it, because you can't just like put out a song and have that be
I wish
it
it was like that. I wish it was like that. It'd be so easy.
I know, like the amount of I watched like documentaries and read books about like how it was for like musicians in like the 70s and stuff. Yeah, and
so
it was like,
easy, like.
we just like, I mean, they worked hard, but it was like, oh, we just played like gigs a lot. Gigged like crazy. Someone like a talent scout caught wind.
Sees you, yeah.
And then they're like,
That's
oh,
it,
we've got an
famous.
audition. Yeah, you got an audition for this label. If it works out, cool, we'll sign you. But it's interesting because I don't, when I write songs and stuff, and like I'm like, oh, this is the one I'm gonna do next. I don't think about the visual aspect
Really?
until later, because I don't know. I guess I've never really like thought about it side by side.
Right.
It's always something that comes
Yeah.
after. Like with the EP, my idea for that one was, and it's still ongoing, to sort of have the lifespan of that EP last a bit longer, is if I do a music video for each song, but like space them out.
That's a
so
good
like
idea.
we did the first song on there was Yeah, That's Me. We did the music video, and they came out side by side. And then we did the music video for Counting Stars, which we filmed upstairs, and that came out the same day of the EP, just so people had something to, like you said, to watch and look at, and then know the EP is out. But then I got 2 more songs I got to do videos for, and the idea I've got in my head is when I put a video out for those songs, people will then be redirected back to the EP.
Song, yeah, and back to the EP, yeah.
But it is weird that you kind of have to think like that now. And even like you said, like, how am I going to promote it?
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing. Like a musician can't just be a musician anymore.
You got to be like an influencer, basically.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Insane. Like you really have to build yourself up on like social media and stuff, and then you can do the music side of things, which is crazy. It's interesting because like we talk about like old artists and stuff, and in a way it was kind of similar because they would have to like play all these gigs all the time and build a following that way, whereas we have to build a following
online,
on social media. and then it works that way. And then you hope to get signed or whatever that way. But you're still building a following either way. It's just different ways of going about it. But I think with the internet and social media and stuff now, it's loud. There are so many people doing it. And I think it's so weird because I don't think you have to be good to stand out. I don't think you have to like have like you could be the best singer and the best songwriter in the world, but like it doesn't mean anything. Like it can amount to nothing online. If someone's funnier than you, it's
or
GG.
shocking. That shock element.
Because anything can go viral at any minute. It never makes sense, especially TikTok. TikTok. I mean, I really like TikTok. I think it's a really fun place if you can
make it fun.
If you can make it fun and not take it too seriously. But like, I can't judge what's going to be viral or what's going to be popular. Because like my most popular video on TikTok now is me posting 3 stupid pictures I put up when the Oasis tickets were going live. And I posted 3 dumb pictures that I was laughing about. I was like in work and I'm like, it should be funny.
This is funny.
And then like it did like hundreds of ththousands of numbers. My phone was like buzzing like crazy.
Like, what?
Yeah, it was such a weird thing. And then like I'd be like, I'll do something similar like that again. And then nothing. Crickets. Such a weird thing.
I had that on Instagram with one of my videos, my songs. I was like, do you know when there's like song of the summer? And I was doing it as a joke. I put, this is the most bisexual song you've ever heard, thinking as a joke. No one's going to see it. I got 50 likes maybe, right? In my normal videos. And then it kept on growing and growing. And it's got over like 1,000 likes now. And then Violet Grover's her name from Foo Fighters' daughter, Dave Grohl's daughter, liked it. I was like, why is this going viral? Why is people seeing this? It's just insane. You don't know who's going to see his stuff and go viral. It's mad.
No, and especially on TikTok when it is such a fast moving platform, like you have to like jump on that
the trends
instantly. You have to be so fast on that kind of stuff, otherwise it's gone. Even if you wait the day after, that's it, you've waited too long.
It's mad.
It's a really tricky platform to navigate through, because I'm like a YouTube boy. Like that's like, I did a lot of YouTube stuff when I was I'd say younger. It wasn't even that long ago. And I understand YouTube a lot. I say a lot. That's changed a lot too. But like, I feel like I understand YouTube a bit more because it's slower and you can take your time posting stuff.
It's calm. No one's judging you. It's calm.
You can take your time. If you want to do a video once a week, do it. Once a month.
It's
fine. It don't matter. You go ahead. Like, we don't care. TikTok, you miss one day and they're like,
out of the algorithm. Shadow banned. It's awful.
Yeah, it's such a tricky platform. But back to songwriting a little bit, I suppose, because it's something I'm curious about. Would you ever work with like a different sort of producer then, other than your dad, or would you be like, no, this is it? Like,
I would if they were like big producers.
Okay.
Like really big producers.
You want to go big time with it? Like, none of these small fry producers.
No, it's just like, it'd have to be someone I trust. It'd have to be someone I really trust, because I trust my dad and I know he's going to produce something that I like, and he knows my music taste and what I want. Whereas like other times, I have tried it before. And I'm like, this is not what I want. And I don't feel comfortable enough to be like, no, this is not what I want. And then I'm stuck with something and I'm like, this is not what I want. And then I go, Dad, can you just do your own version of this?
Yeah, it's awful not having that like comfortability with a producer. Like, the first couple songs I did with the band, because I was so new to it as well at that point, I didn't know when I could say no to something. So like the producer of those songs was like, I got this idea for this, I want to put a guitar solo here, and I'm like, I don't want a guitar solo. Like,
I don't want that.
So you're not here like pop punk music, it's no guitar solo. I suppose it's something, but like it's not something I was interested in. One of the first songs we ever did, Generation Z, he essentially like rewrote the bridge to it.
Oh no!
Because he was like, "This isn't good enough," and it might not have been. Like that's the thing, because I don't even remember it, and it might not have been good enough. But he was like, "Oh, we got to change all this," and I remember at the time I was like, that kind of sucks, because I did like it.
Yeah.
But I felt like I couldn't say no because I'm like, well, he knows more than I do. He knows
more. Yeah.
Thankfully, I haven't had that for a minute. Like the songs I did a lot of stuff with Unit 13 in Tredegar. We're not there anymore, sadly, rest in peace. But they were class. They were essentially like, in the best possible way, if any of them do watch, they were like empty vessels. So like they would basically do whatever it is you said to them. And like they might have like a little bit of input every now and again. But most of the input they would have would be on like production stuff and be like, here's what's going to sound best. If you want to do that, you can do it. But here's the best way to go about it. Yeah, like it's fine then. And even stuff with like with PD now, like I love working with PD because it's so much fun. And he's got so much crap upstairs that you can just play around with and stuff. And I think the nicest thing is the freedom of time with the songs and like being able to mess around with songs and different because that one of the downsides to how we recorded before was like I had like a day and like once past that day it'd be like that's it. Like I've said it before, but like the last song we put out in the band Guns, Blankets, Caskets, we recorded and done in like 2 hours. Like everything was done in 2 hours and we got out. It was the fastest we had ever done a song. There's a few like big producers in Wales. Do you know any producers by name or like no?
No, not really, no.
Any particular, I suppose you want a pop music producer primarily. Because I know there's a lot of metal seems to be a big thing around Wales.
Yes, a lot of
metal producers.
Loads on that.
A lot of metal producers around here. There's a lot in Cardiff. But there's a few more like pop punky producers as well that do like the band Neck Deep. The pop punk band.
I've heard of them.
Playing live. When did you start gigging?
Around 16, I started gigging in my college, on my college course. So they had little gigs, so I started doing it through that, yeah.
Do you like gigging, or is it something you do for like content and stuff?
I don't mind it, but it's not my favourite thing.
No?
No, and people find that weird when I say it. I'm like, it's just, I don't know. I'm not nervous. It's just, I can't be more creative because the songs are done and I'm just performing them and I'm just performing there. But when I'm writing a song, I'm creative. I'm writing wherever I want and thinking of like the brand and the images to go with it. With performance, it's just performance to me.
But do you think, because there's something that Bowie used to do is he would play the songs differently live to the recorded versions. Cool. So like, I suppose if you like, I'm not saying to do it, but if you get bored of like the song playing them live. I think I started
doing that in a weird way with my covers. I got bored playing the same covers over and over again. I was like, wait, I can speak Welsh. I can speak Welsh. I can sing them in Welsh, and it's different. And then I'm not getting bored. And then I've switched in. Yeah,
that's fair. So you do a lot of gigs like acoustic and stuff, and it was just you. I suppose it's difficult then, because that does kind of limit to what you can do in that sort of like live music setting. But I mean, you could go like really theatrical with it, put like flames and stuff up your sleeve.
Yeah.
And, like, put them all out.
I think I try and wear really, extra outfits and try and make it really dramatic, my makeup and stuff like that. But performance doesn't really mean a lot to me in a way. It's more about just getting the music out there. Yeah.
Yeah, live music is a tricky one now, compared to what it used to be. But like, I mean, with the band, we gigged so much before COVID. It was like every other weekend. Because I felt like that was what we had to, like, you're a band, that's something you had to do. Yeah. I saw nothing come out of it.
Really? Nothing. Yeah, loads of people say that, see?
Nothing. Like, you might get a few more likes. Like, to be fair, they're really nice when you sort of play live and you get like maybe one person come up to you and be like, that was class. Yeah. Like, that was really cool. And you're like, sick. That's one more person. Yeah. Like, we did, this was after COVID. This was maybe like 2 years ago. We played down in Swansea. I love the place as well. It's called, oh no.
Is it the Bunkhouse?
No, it's not Bunkhouse. It's a smaller place. The name is on the tip of my tongue. This is so annoying. I can't remember it. That's going to bug the hell out of me. But yeah, we've played there at least 3 or 4 times. But the last time we played there, and this is like after like years of us playing, so like we're kind of used to it at this point, and we're used to people not giving the shit either, and like just like shrugging us off. But for the first time in about 6 or 7 years, we had some guy come up to us and be like, "Oh, that was class. Do you have any t-shirts?" And we were like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, do you sell t-shirts?" We were like, "No." And he was like, "Oh, that's a shame." He's like, "I never bought one." And I was like, "What?" No one has ever said that before. And that's cool. I think there's something different to when someone tells you in person, like, you were great, to like a comment on online. Comments online are lovely as well. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, if someone wants to comment something nice, I'm not going to be like, no, don't do that. Yeah. But like, I don't know. There's something about that when someone says it to you in person. I think it just means something more to you. Yeah. You played with a backing band before.
Yeah.
Did that not work out?
No, it worked out. It was fine, but it's just hard getting everyone to do band practice at the same time, scheduling. I'm not a very patient person with stuff, and I just want to do gigs and then go back to recording music. And I got no patience with people with schedules and stuff, because I know if I'm free, I'll just do the gig and then I can do it. So I just went back solo, really.
Yeah. That is a tricky part when it comes to bands. Like, I love getting and Sam to bits, but like especially like, well, one of them works in like care work and stuff. So they only work 2 days a week, which is brilliant. But when they work 2 days a week, it is 48 hours non-stop.
Oh my God.
So if they've got a shift Friday and Saturday, that's it. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. So like, there's been a few times we've had to be like, can't do this gig, can't do that gig.
Yeah.
But I think it is easier solo, because you can just be like, yeah, fine. Like, if it's just you, you know you're free, you can just go and do it. But on a personal level, I have much more fun playing in a band than I do on my own. Because you've got, even if like the crowd don't care about you,
can interact with your band.
Yeah, you've got at least some other people on stage with them where you can mess around with and like have some kind of fun with just, you guys on stage. So say this is all a massive success and you flourish.
Oh my God.
Right?
I wish.
Well, let's just say it happens, right? Because you never know. Would you then play it with a backing band, or would you do backing tracks and stuff? Because a lot of people use laptops and stuff.
I've done backing tracks recently, and that went well because I could move around. But if I did get that level, I'd have a backing band straight away. I'd have it because they'd be professional, wouldn't they? And you'd be paying them to do it.
Yeah.
And I'd have the money to pay them. You can rely on them.
Yeah.
But like being an independent artist, I can't pay for a backing band right now.
I
can't afford to pay for like 5 people and then they transport to the venue and then get paid, I don't know, like £50.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky, that is.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah. If you play many gigs live, or is this something you do on a case-by-case basis? If you think it's worth it, then you're like, oh, I'll do that one.
I've done loads of gigs, but I tend to pick now the ones that are going to be worth it, that are going to be worth going to and playing to. Like, I did Wales Goes Pop. That was good in the Moon, because I knew it was good, like, festival. I did Gen Z, which was really good for, like, kids of the valleys and stuff. If it's got a good meaning behind it and good people, I'll do it. If it's, like, something that I don't want to do it, if it's small and is, something I've never done before maybe and stuff like that, I need to trust the people who are doing the gig. Yeah.
It's interesting because like the last guest I had on here was Ty, and he said the same thing. Like, because he's been gigging for way longer than I have, but even he was like, oh, I've come to a point where like the band he's in now, I've become like way more selective in the gigs they do, rather than like doing everything.
Taking everything, saying yes.
It's just like, oh, they'll do the ones that like they think is worthwhile, and I kind of do the same now. But it's interesting that like, live music has come to that. I suppose people who are new to it would still have that excitement and kind of be like, oh yeah, like I want to do anything and everything.
It's new, it's exciting when you get a first gig.
But then when you've done it for like years or whatever, you're like, do I really want to drive to Birmingham or something? Like,
yeah.
Because like the amount of times, I've driven to London.
Oh my God,
for the
that's
gigs,
cool.
You'd think for the gigs to be terrible.
Really?
Yeah, like real bad.
Oh, wow.
Like the last gig I did in London was the one where I kind of like swore it off. I was like, I'm never doing that again unless I know it's worthwhile, like you were saying. Like if I know the gig is going to be good, then fine, I'll do it. But like the last gig in London like killed me off.
Oh my God.
It was dreadful.
That bad?
It was really bad. Yeah, like the guy organizing all, because one thing I realized with promoters in London, I can't speak for all of them. Majority of them are terrible.
Oh God.
Like
Okay.
they're really, really bad. A lot of them are like, they say they're not pay to play, but they are. So they'll be like, oh, you know, we're not a pay to play sort of company. But if you don't sell X amount of tickets,
I think I know what you're talking
then
about.
we might have to move your set. You did one.
I nearly did one with the said company.
Yeah.
And they had me, but then they didn't have me because I didn't do it in the end. I didn't go up to London and do it because the band I had at the time, the bassist dropped out the day before. So it's kind of a good thing I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But you had to like sell so many tickets to make a profit, and then they never want to work with you again if you're done. What?
You did it. I remember.
That's not a good company at all. I was
No.
like...
I remember seeing you post about it
Yeah.
because I know the name and I can cut it out.
Yeah, something like that,
exactly
yeah.
the same one. I saw you post about it because I remember when I saw it, I said to my partner Sean, I was like, oh fuck, I was like, someone needs to tell her because like they were the same thing. So with those guys, we lied to them and we were like, yeah, we sold the ticket. We sent them our own money. So we sent them like 90 quid of our own money.
Oh my God.
To be like, we sold everything just so we could play.
Yeah.
Thinking like, it'll be worthwhile. We played in front of the rest of the bands.
Oh no.
It was such a waste of time.
They hype it up as well so much. They get your photo and they put you on the website. And then underneath it, it's like, oh, we've worked with like Youngblood. We've worked with this person, this person. And I'm like, oh my God, this is it. I'm going to be in the Idlewild Festival. It's happening. And they ring you up and they're like, it's going to be such a good venue. So good. Worth the travel. And I'm like, this is it. It's all working out. And then you're like, wait, this has got to be a scam because I'm not getting anything from this.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a load of phone calls with one of the people down there as well. And I remember when they told me, like, oh, you got to sell, like, if you don't sell this amount of tickets, not to say that the gig is cancelled, but we might have to move things around as like a thinly veiled threat. And I remember being on the phone line, I'm like, I'm from, like, Wales, right? I'm like, I can't bring that many people to London with me, and I can't expect.
I was like trying to get my family to come with me and stuff. I was like, please come to this. This is important.
I know it's such a difficult thing to do, and I'm like, I don't know how you expect us to like expect people to drive to London just to see us when like you could do it next weekend, like half hour down the road or something. And the one was like, it'll be fine. I'm sure you'll figure it out. And like, we did figure it out. We just sent them our own money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were bad. But funny enough, they weren't the ones where I swore it off. There was another one, and it wasn't like a company name. It was just this one guy. Because the one thing I will say is kind of cool with London promoters is they all kind of seem to be connected. Yeah. So like I got that one through signing up to this other London promoter who were doing the whole like Isle of Wight festival. I said Hot Fox. I was signing up to those. I signed up to Hot Fox. And I was trying to work out a gig with them, but they stopped talking to me because it was the same case of like, you can do these gigs, but you need to guarantee you're going to
bring
sell 30
all these
people.
Tickets. It's ridiculous.
I was like, I don't know how you're going to expect me to bring 30 people. So I told the guy in the email, I was like, I don't think I can bring 30 people down with us. Like, that's just impossible. And then he was like, all right, fine. We'll start you up with some like small acoustic gigs or something around London to build a following that way. And I'm like, I'm down for that. Like, that's fine. And then I never heard back. It
sounds so professional, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, give it the call. Never happens.
That was it. Never heard back. We gigged down London separately from it all. It was like some other gig we got somehow. I can't even remember how we got it, but we got a gig elsewhere down London separate from Hot Fox.
Yeah.
And I think we were just posting about it online. And then I had an email from that other company being like, oh, so you're gigging down London under like Hot Fox or whatever. And then they were like, do you want to set someone up with us? And I'm like, yeah. And then obviously we sent them our own money. And then the one after that one was a similar case. We had an email come in just from like a guy promoter who did stuff on his own. And he was like, oh, so you gigging with so-and-so? Like, do you want to gig doing with us? And I remember telling him, and I was like, we're fine gigging with you, but like after the experience with Hot Fox, I was like, not Hot Fox, sorry, the other company.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want to double check this isn't a pay to play thing, because if it is, I'm not doing it. I was like, if you're going to expect us to sell X amount of tickets, we're out. And then
Yeah.
he was like, no, we're not, we don't do any of that stuff. Don't worry about it. So I was like, oh, cool, I'm fine with
good.
that. And then literally like 2 days before the gig, he's like, oh, just to be sure, you are bringing 10 people down with you, right? And I was like, no. Like, what do you mean?
No, it's just us. Like,
I know.
yeah.
I was like, I double checked with you before all of this happened.
Why are you saying this now? Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, don't worry. Just bring your girlfriends and their friends or whatever. And I was like, I'll bring my partner. That is it.
Yeah.
I have no one else.
Yeah.
And we got to that gig. It was in the venue was really, really cool. It was called Cargo. It was in Shoreditch.
Nice.
And it was such a cool venue. It looked banging. It was this huge stage to an empty room because no one was there. And it was the dumbest setup in the world. So like the venue itself was almost like a nightclub. And you had to walk to the back of this club and there was these big heavy duty curtains past there. That was the music venue.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But to get in past those curtains was when you had to pay use your tickets. And the tickets were like a tenner or something.
Oh my God.
So, but like the amount of people, so like we'd be playing to an empty room, but you would see people like peering through the curtains and then be like, nah, no one in there. Like, why would you pay a tenner to get to the other side? It was the dumbest thing in the world. So then after that one, I was like, that's it. I'm not doing this again.
Yeah.
It's a tricky business playing
You gotta
live.
trust the people you're doing it with, but then you never know. Like, I had the weirdest offer of a gig, and I was gonna do it. I had a fan of mine who was like this weird man from like I don't know where he was from, like Birmingham way, I want to say. And he's like, I'm putting on a gig. It's my first gig. You'll be the headline act. Just come up, and we'll give you free food, and we'll pay for everything. I was like, okay. And then I was like, is this a plot from just to like kidnap me or something?
Yeah.
Because nobody was like, he wasn't promoting it, wasn't on anything. I was like, the day of the gig, I was like, sorry, can't come, super ill. And then I was like, block, I can't do this. Like, you can't trust people sometimes.
Did you have the venue name or anything?
No, it was just like a pub. It was a random pub in Birmingham on like a street. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, I'm not taking the risk with that.
It's fair. 'Cause, I mean, like, chances are it would have been
Weird.
even if like the guy had the best of intentions.
Yeah.
I doubt it would have been worth the trip to Birmingham just to do it. Because one of the things I've sort of noticed with playing live as well, I think, as one of the things I talked to Ty about last time, it's worth kind of building up a reputation around like this local area first.
Definitely.
Because like branching out to places like Birmingham, like London, Manchester, Liverpool, whatever, completely worthless unless you stay in there. Because you could do one gig down there, no one's gonna remember you because they got like countless other bands playing in the week. So you need to be in a place, I think, where you can play constantly and repetitively, even if you play in the same venue for like weeks and weeks and weeks, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think like trying to conquer, the whole of UK is like impossible.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, you
I
can't
used
do
to
it.
think like that. I used to think,
Me too.
right, I gotta do all of UK, gotta do all.
Yeah.
Then I was like, wait, let me just be realistic about this now for a second, Rosie. You can't just tackle the whole of UK. Let's just tackle Wales. This is where you are.
No, I get that. That was why like I did London, because I was like, that's what you got to do. Like, all
it
music
makes
stuff
sense.
comes from
You
London.
get seen.
Yeah. But no, complete waste of time. I've had way better gigs around here. I think the furthest now I'll go out is like Bristol. I'll do Bristol because it's only like 10 minutes further than Cardiff. But other than that, I'll just stay in and around Wales. Because if I'm honest, Swansea's class for gigs.
Yeah,
I have
really
never
good.
had a bad gig down in Swansea. They've always been really, really cool. Do you have any sort of gigs lined up now for the rest of the year, or are you just going to be like writing stuff?
I got one in November in Acapella Studios, and then I got one in Swansea in Bankhouse there is? Yeah, Bankhouse on the 15th of November. Yeah, so that's all I got so far, yeah.
Sick. How did you get Bunkhouse? Because I didn't call them out. I've messaged them and I got nothing back. And I've wanted to play there for ages. So if you're listening,
Give a gig, yeah.
Get me in there. Jesus.
Yeah, a band asked me to do support. So it's through that.
Okay,
I was like,
right.
easy. But they've asked me to put on gigs all the time. And I'm like, I got so much stuff going on. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, do this. And I forget. It's like so hard to do gigs and then release music and everything.
Yeah, especially if you prefer the more like writing side of music and like making music other than gigging. I love gigging, but I do it a lot less now than what I used to. I think I might have one in December, but I'm unsure on that one because the guy hasn't come back to me yet. But yeah, live music is a weird thing. If I'm honest, I use it more now for like content.
Oh yeah, again,
more
the
than
content.
anything. Yeah.
And then posting it. You get more views from like people online than in your actual gigs if you think about it. It's
100%.
insane.
Yeah. That's why like I'll just video
Everything.
my gigs like crazy, and then I'll spend like the next week just like posting,
Editing
like,
them, yeah. Every song, every day out.
Yeah, exactly. Because you get way more traction off that. I feel than
and more
like actual
stuff.
like
I feel like you
gigs.
get. It makes it all more worth it online. I feel sadly, like going to gigs, you get one person come up to you, and that's lovely. But online, if you get like 50 comments, and then 50 streams, it's like that's working more right now. Why not focus on that?
I think that works more now because that's just like that is the state of the music industry just in general. Like they care way more about that than how many people are going to your gigs, which is a crazy thing to think about. But like, because like, how many you got? 2,000 followers on TikTok or something?
2,000, yeah.
2,000. It's weird when you think, right, I got like 2,000 followers on TikTok, but if you did a gig, like 2,000 people ain't gonna show up.
I got like 10.
Yeah, it's a really weird thing to kind of like navigate, because then you kind of wonder, like, you wonder which ones are following you because of your music, or like which ones are they've just pressed follow kind of thing because of like one video they liked. That is something that I've always found weird with social media. Like, I just passed 500 followers on TikTok, but I don't have like 500 streams or whatever on like songs. I get like half of that or something. So it's kind of like, I think it's one of the benefits with live music is I think the people that are there who enjoy you and do watch you, they will
go and stream.
Listen to your stuff. I think it's just it's harder to find those people now. And it's also harder to do that when so many live venues now close. Yeah. So many of them close.
Loads.
And again, it's just the state of the music industry. I think that's just the current state of the music industry. I think they care less about live music now.
They do.
Over, how many followers you got on TikTok and Instagram, which, I mean, I'm not going to complain about it because it is what it is. I don't think there's any change in that. I just think that's just a change that has happened within the music industry, and it's just something that we have to sort of accept and move on. Like, I think it was Dave Grohl, who I know is not in anyone's good books right now, but he came up, he was in an interview a few years ago, and he was talking about it, like the exact same topic, and he was like, oh, I still feel that like live music is the most important part of it. And he was like, he mentioned one band by name, and he was like, we've been playing this festival every year, and every year this band has been moving up to a bigger stage. But he equated all of that to like, it must be because they class at the festival. When I can guarantee you they're only playing bigger stages because their following got bigger on social media. Which it's bizarre. I think it's such a bizarre world. And I think a lot of older musicians then struggle.
And then they're like afraid to even go on TikTok and start
a lot of them.
Like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is for younger people. I'm too old to be a musician. And that's a shame then, because it's like it's supposed to be for everyone.
I hate putting age limits on music and stuff. I think that sucks.
It's the whole like, you need to be successful. You need to make it by 21. You need to make it by 21. And I'm like, no,
I'm 27.
Yeah, it's that ridiculous thing of like you need to make it by year or you can't ever make it.
Yeah,
it's like I can't live by that, because if I live by that, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to give up.
Yeah. No, 100%. I used to put time limits on like whatever I was doing, to be like, all right, I need to get this done by X date. All that did was stress me out.
Yeah, it makes it worse.
Stress me out, made me depressed. Then when I got to that point, I didn't hit it or something. So now I just take it as it comes.
Yeah, best way to be,
whatever happens. I stopped thinking really far in advance. Like I stopped thinking like, oh, where am I going to be next year? Where am I going to be in 2 years? I literally take it month by month.
Yeah, day by day, honestly.
Yeah. I plan everything out month by month. That's it. Like I know what's happening. I know a little bit what's happening next month in terms of what I'm doing. Month after that, I haven't got a clue. I'll decide that next month. I I used to get depressed about age limits and stuff.
Yeah,
because
same.
it's something everyone
It's
talks about.
awful.
Especially when like you look at the artists you love.
Oh, like
and
Billie
you're
Eilish
like,
getting successful at like 20 or
Yeah.
younger. It was like 16 or something. I'm like,
yeah.
I wish it was you. Like,
Yeah, and the problem is with stuff like that as well, is a lot of them got uber successful parents.
Yeah, and they
who
never talk
fund
about
everything.
that.
They never talk about it. Funny enough, I mentioned it to my brother today. No one mentions or really mentions how successful Taylor Swift's father is.
I know. And how he bought all her records to
Yeah.
make it go up in the charts.
Yeah,
Like, what?
no one talks about that. And it's like, I can't take Taylor Swift's success away from it because what she's done now, incredible. But like starting out, that is such a massive helping hand
Yeah.
that a lot of other artists
Don't
don't
have.
have. They can't have it. So like it is a struggle now to kind of like get to a point of success without any of that help.
Yeah.
It's tricky. I don't know the answer to it. All I can say is putting an age limit on stuff. It's just going to
worst thing to
depress
do.
you. It's just going to
Yeah.
depress you. Like bands I loved, it's like Green Day, whatever, Blink, they were all like 18. And I was watching Blink got they got 2 documentaries, and I was the Urethra Chronicles. I was watching the second one, and like this was like when they were at their peak fame. Like Enema of the State just came out. They were doing all the small things, and they were on tour, and they were like 23. And I was like, how does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like that is so. Like even now, even though I'm 27, I'm like they're older than me. Like
Yeah.
I still think they're older than me because I don't know what it is in my head. I'm like, I think it's just because they've done so much more. I'm like, oh, they're clearly older than me. Like I haven't hit that part yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try not to put age limits on stuff. I don't think it's good for you. And I think like there's that singer? There's a singer from, I don't think he's from Detroit, but what's his name? Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's this American artist, and he's like only within like the last year or two become like a big success or
Yeah.
whatever, won awards. He's like 40. He's 42.
So people making it then.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem is I think people give up.
Yeah, that's
And-
the worst thing to do is give up. If you keep on going, I think you need to define success by yourself as well. You know, you start off and want to be a musician. You are a musician. If you're making music, you've done it. You have done it.
Yeah. I think people give up, and then when they give up, they're like, clearly this is impossible. So there's I was 30 years old when I give up. That's when everyone else should give up. No
Yeah.
one can do it past the age I did it. And I just think it's not true. I really don't think it's true, especially now. I say like doing the whole social media stuff is hard. On the other hand, I also think it's like incredibly easy for anybody
Yeah.
to become a success. Anybody.
So easy. One video goes viral and then you've made it.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Which is nice in a way because I think it cements the idea that you can do anything whenever. It doesn't matter.
Hopeful.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter how old you are. You can, as long as you've got the confidence to like post the video, upload the song, post the
Yeah.
video, just
You
do
don't know
that.
what's going to happen. You don't know.
I think it's really nice. I think it's cool. With social media then, which one do you think is the most prominent social media? Which is the most useful right now for
TikTok.
You think TikTok?
TikTok, yeah.
I get way more interaction on TikTok than I do Instagram.
It's
I don't know what
easier.
it is.
I don't know. There's something about it.
I could post the same things to TikTok that I do same things to Instagram that I do TikTok, and on TikTok it does way better.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
It's strange.
I don't get it. But then like some people, I've seen so many people talk about how they value like Instagram followers and likes more so than TikTok followers and likes. But like Instagram is just crickets.
Yeah, it is.
It's
It's gone
really
dead.
weird.
I remember when I first started on my Instagram account, before I even did music, right? Like 13, 14, I started doing music. But like I was posting little photos of me, little photo shoots. And they get like 200 likes back when I was in school. And then now I'm getting like 50 likes. I'm like, where are these people gone?
Yeah.
Like what's happened to it?
I don't know. It's really, it's weird. And I think, I don't know what it is. Because like even on like Instagram now, if I like open up my like news feed, some of the, like, no, I won't say half, but like a lot of the stuff on it is from people like I don't even follow.
Yeah,
I was
it's
like,
weird
where,
on the shorts.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, where's all the stuff that like the people I follow are posting? So I'm wondering if like maybe that's also part of it as well. It's just like what you're posting isn't getting into like your followers' hands. Like they
Yeah.
just don't see it. They miss it. It's a weird algorithm. It's one of the things I like about TikTok because you do have that following tabs. You could only see the people you follow. And even on like the For You tab, if you like enough of like the person who follows videos, they come up
on
anyway.
there.
So I think their algorithm is just better.
Crap, like, yeah, it's just crap.
Instagram
on
isn't
there.
the best. Yeah,
It's just bad.
yeah. So do you post the same amount on each one, or do you post more on TikTok?
TikTok, I try to do consistently on TikTok, post every day. I
Yeah.
try. But on Instagram, I'd say maybe once a week. Yeah.
Do you post multiple times a day on TikTok, or just once?
Multiple times. So I'll do a big
Every day?
batch. Yeah, every day. I try to do every day. Do a big batch. But what I'll do is I'll save all those videos from TikTok
Yeah.
onto my library on my camera. So then I got content for Instagram. Put
Yeah,
up every week.
yeah.
It's there, then it's easier.
Yeah. How do you do multiple videos? I tried doing multiple videos a day on TikTok and it drove me insane.
I don't know. I just stick the camera up and I think, right, I'm going to do this for an hour. Just give myself an hour. And then I post it all. I'm like, that's done. Don't think about it for the rest of the day. Don't think about it. Don't think about any promotion to do with music. I've done it for a day now.
Yeah.
And then do the same every day. Just an hour.
Just an hour every day.
Yeah,
and that's it?
dedicated to it. Yeah.
That's crazy. See, I've recently they've let me do live streams and stuff now, which is cool. Which is weird, because there was a rule.
You have to get 1,000.
Yeah.
It's gone down to 500 now, I think.
Yeah,
I think.
that's what
Yeah.
happened. So like it was 1,000 when I was looking for ages and ages and ages, and then like I think it was a day last week I had a notification like, oh, you've been approved for live.
To be
And I'm
like,
like,
yeah.
I'm nowhere near 1,000. Like, what are you on about? But when I do that, like I did one Saturday, I think, or something. I'm
It's
just
mad.
playing my guitar.
Yeah.
And like, it was kind of fun. And I did that for like an hour. And I'm like, this ain't too bad. Like maybe I could do this like this. Just live stream for an hour, playing my guitar. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's just kind of like band practice in a way. I'm just like...
Just a camera in front of you.
Yeah. But I think the thing is, I think if you're not comfortable doing stuff like that, I don't think you can...
You can't.
You can't make it as a musician
you
anymore, which is so weird. Like, I think the day and age of being that like reclusive musician, like the
Yeah.
mysterious kind of musician, is
it's gone. It's
dead.
completely gone.
You can't be mysterious
No.
anymore. The most mysterious you can get now is making up a character for yourself and hiding behind that.
Yeah.
And then people question like, oh, who's the real such and such? But like in terms of being aloof and like not
Yeah.
seeing, you can't do it. You have to be seen every single day.
It's mad.
Yeah. If you're not, it's such a weird thing. If you're not comfortable doing it, I don't think
I'm taking like the criticism from it as well and the bad comments. You got to be able to take all that from it as well.
Oh, I don't pay attention to the bad comments.
I've had some stories with that, honestly. So I was doing like all the TikTok stuff and the Instagram things, and then one day I was like on Instagram, I was like, I hate local rainbow account. I was like, what's this?
I remember you posting about that.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh, what's this? And I was like, this hate account made for me. I was like, this is something I wasn't expecting to happen. I was told,
Yeah.
when you get famous, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm like, I'm nowhere near that.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? And then I had that happen, and it came down eventually. But then yesterday, funny enough, I was in my bedroom. I was just on TikTok, and I was like, another account, another thing, like, don't listen to this artist, she's fake, her streams are not real. And it's got no followers. I was thinking, who are making these accounts? Like, why am I getting this? Because it could just be random people. It's mad because you get hate for no reason sometimes as well as a musician, just for simply being a musician.
Yeah, cool. I mean, you're always going to find people that don't like what you do. I think some people take that to the extreme.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm going to dedicate all my time to hating this person, which is I can't
wrap my
imagine
head
living
around
like that.
it.
I can't imagine living like that. Like, I used to, like my YouTube videos, I used to do some of them where I would complain about stuff that I didn't like. You get more interaction that way. As sad as it is, you get more interaction when you when you hate on something. But like, as I've gotten older, I'm kind of like,
it's not worth it.
what is the point?
Yeah.
Like, all I'm doing is spewing more hatred into the world. And isn't needed at all. So what is the point? Like, I don't even talk about the stuff I don't like anymore online because I don't need to. Like, movie director Kevin Smith does podcasts, and he's mentioned on there, he's like, you will never ever see me talk about the films I don't like because, like, why would I?
Yeah.
All I want to do is talk about what I like and what
Stuff
I love.
that I love, yeah.
Just to be positive. So, yeah, the people who make... I've never had, like, a hate
it's mad.
account. I think
It's insane.
I can't... Obviously, I can't be like, oh, that sounds class. But, like, I can't help but imagine, like, I think a part of me would find it funny to imagine that someone has taken all of this time and energy.
It is a bit funny when you like think of it like that. But when you first see it and you think, because I'm so used to seeing my content coming up on my page because I'm posting all the time. I'm like, that's my content there and all that. Then I was like, I haven't made this. I haven't made this. I was like, who's doing this? Who's doing these edits? Like, it's insane to see your face on like an account that's dedicated for hate, that's not positive.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, that's pretty cool though, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
That's pretty cool. Someone that really hates me.
Yeah, they hate you that much. And
I'm doing something right here.
They set up an entire profile dedicated to it. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I get what the celebrities are on about now.
Yeah, I mean, I get the occasional like bad comment, but I think growing up, like I said, as a YouTube kid, I'm so used to it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know about you, but like it's not that difficult for me to just like filter that out and be like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like I think the quicker or as soon as you're able to kind of be like, I know not everyone's gonna like me.
Yeah, I think you gotta have that from the start. When you put music out, you're like, not everyone's gonna like this, and not everyone's gonna like what I'm doing, going for. And the people who like it, brilliant. People who don't like it, okay, that's fine. You don't have to like it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna accept either of you. It's fine.
Yeah, because I think the thing is as well, I think the people that might not like, you know, your music, my music, whatever, it doesn't even necessarily mean the music's bad. It's just not for them.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any particular genre of music is bad. I think you can obviously get bad, poorly written songs and stuff in those genres. But if that genre exists, then someone out there likes it.
Yeah.
So like with your music, even if you might get like bad comments and people dedicating all of their time to like shitting on it, there are people out there that do like it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have had that fan account. I don't know what you would call them, but you wouldn't have it. You wouldn't have people like talking about it. It's wild. It's so weird that people would do that.
It's insane.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do some fun questions, and so you could take as much time to think about them if you want, because I can just edit around it.
Cool.
First question is, can you name me the 5 artists or bands that you draw the biggest inspiration from and that define who you are as a musician?
Oh, okay. This is a hard question because there's so many of them. I would say Doobie, 1975, Chapel Roan. Who else? David Bowie, definitely David Bowie. And I would say a little bit of ABBA in there. A tiny bit of ABBA in there.
That's like your roots from like where your dad showed you. I can respect that. And you have like, you got a Bowie in 1975 tattoo, don't you?
Yeah.
Thought so. Yeah. That's cool. That first artist you named, who I haven't heard of that one.
So 1975.
No, the other one,
Doobie. Yeah.
Who are they?
So 1975, the band.
Okay. Yeah.
They got a record label.
Yeah.
Their own one. So they signed her
to
them. And she's doing really well for herself now. So she got like a pop vibe. So I've taken a lot from her. If I was to be with a label, it would be their label I'd like to be with. Yeah.
And so I also like thinking of a label I'd like to be signed with. It's quite funny.
It's a nice little dream and fancy to think about.
Like I'd love to go on. I don't even know if they're still a thing. I hope they are. I'd love to be on Reprise because they had like Green Day and My Chemical Romance and stuff. I'd love to be on that label so much. It's always weird when bands start their own labels because Alkaline Trio had their own label. A band I love them to death. They had their own label. I think they called it like like Heart and Skull, I think, or something, which is just their logo.
Yeah.
They did like one album on it and then just stopped doing it. Like that was it.
They're like, we gave it a go.
Yeah, I want to say Green Day did the same thing as well. They had their label like Adeline or Aveline or something, which is named after Billy Joe's wife.
Oh.
And like I think they did a few things on it, and then that was it.
Like,
I think Metallica might have their own label as well.
Oh, that's cool.
I think they do everything on their own label, which then further goes into the bigger question of like how necessary then are labels now, especially like we talk about like, you know, building your own following on social media and stuff.
I don't think you need a label these days, though. See, I don't.
You don't think you need a label?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Because there's been so many people who've come up to me and be like, oh, do you want to be a part of my label? But they're so small, the companies around you. Unless it's someone big and I know they got big artists from them, I'm not going to take that risk. It's too much money to be with them sometimes, and they take so much cut from your music. I want it to be mine.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think the biggest positive to being with a label is like the contacts you can get whilst in there. And I think a part of it then also allows you to just kind of like focus a bit more on making the music and writing the music, because you don't have to be so concerned about like, oh, what promo have I got to do? Like you can still be involved in that, obviously, but like,
it's not, you're not doing everything on your own.
There's a team of people being like, you know, especially like live music and stuff as well. Like you wouldn't have to sort that out. You got like someone at the label
Finding
being like,
the gigs,
like here's where you're playing at this time, and like, cool, I'll do that. Because it's one of the things I hate more than I don't know what it is. I hate looking for gigs. I hate.
I've
looking
never
for
done
gigs.
that. So you've
You've never looked for gigs?
No,
people just offer you.
I can't be bothered.
That's what I mean.
When people come up to me and they're like, do you want a gig? And I'm like, if I want to do it, I'll be like, yeah. But I've never really gone looking for gigs. It's not something I've like put my time into.
I have, and it sucks.
Right, okay.
Because like you could spend, like, you know how you said you spend like an hour a day going through TikTok. I would spend, let's say, an hour a day then emailing, messaging all these venues, being like, here's my band, here's, you know, we'd love to play, here's what we've done, here's all our links to everything. 9 times out of 10, you do not get a response. And then like, at least I should have been doing what you did when I'm just like stacking up like TikTok videos and stuff, because at least then you were seeing something come from it.
Grow from it, yeah.
Yeah, whereas like you're messaging all these venues and not getting a reply. I'm like, I've just wasted all this time messaging these people. I hate doing it. I really hate doing it. I've always tried to get Gethin and Sam to look for gigs as well.
Yeah.
And the one time Sam, our drummer, found us a gig, it was he only did it once and he hasn't done it since, because he was like, oh boy, it's so stupid. He was like, oh boys, I got us a gig down in this pub called, I can't remember the name of it, it's a few years ago.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's called this. And we were like, oh cool, like where is it? And he's like, oh, I can't remember off the top of my head. He's like, well, I'm pretty sure I saw it like, you know, not too far from where we are. And we were like, oh, banging, like when is it?
Yeah.
She told us the date, it was in like a month's time or something. And we were like, oh, cool. Yeah, we'll do that. And he was on his phone in band practice and he was like, oh, boys, we can't do the gig. And we were like, why? And he was like, well, I've just looked and it's in San Diego. I was like, what do you mean it's in San Diego, Sam? And he was like, oh, well, I saw the pub name near where I live. And he was like, I thought that was who I was messaging.
Oh my God.
But he was messaging a venue in San Diego being like, yeah, Sam, we can't do that. Like, you'll have to cancel it.
Yeah.
He hasn't done one since. It was one and done. He hasn't been trusted with it since. But I hate doing it. Most of the gigs that I'll do now are like people who like will ask me, because I can't spend all that time looking. I do it every now and again, like
when you get that, like, you know,
you get
motivation.
that, yeah.
I'm going to be the next big thing. Right, I'm going to go all out and put all my energy into it. And then you're like, oh, no response. Okay, maybe I'll give it a break again.
Yeah, like every now and again I'll get the itch. I'm like, I'd love to just play a gig. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just like an itch in my head. I'm like, I need to do it. So then I'll message a few people then, and then I get no responses. And I'm like, I just wasted all my time. I can't remember who it was. I got really, really annoyed. There's a venue in Swansea that I can't remember the name of it now, but like I know I've wanted to play there, and I kind of changed my tactics up a little bit. So rather than just emailing the email address I'd find on their website or something, I would just message either
Instagram accounts.
Yeah, I would message the Instagram account, but I also started to find like whoever owned the place, and I'd message them. I'd message them. I'd just message them straight up and be like, you know, I see you own this place. I'd love to play it. And one of the guys I messaged who owned this place in Swansea never responded to me, never replied. He followed me on Instagram, and I'm like, I know you've seen that message. If you followed me, I know you've read it.
You've seen that.
So just message me. That's all I'm asking. Even if it's a no, even if it's just you know, we're too bucked up, I would take it. Just let me know. Otherwise, I'm just waiting to see if I'm going to play there.
That's mad when people do that. And they just follow you and then no response. And you're like, what are you waiting for?
yeah. Like, I know you've seen the message. Like, come on. All right. So we've gone past the artists. But can you tell me the same thing for the 5 albums? 5 albums that define who you are. What are the 5 albums that have made the biggest impact to you? As an artist, as a person, could be anything.
I can't think of 5 albums, but I could think of one.
Okay.
One that's just changed everything for me was 2 years ago. I listened to Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd.
Really? Oh my God, wow.
It was only
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it's nothing like any of my music, but I listened to it and I was like, this is mad. This is insane. This is music. This is like the most coolest thing I've heard in my life.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so inspired. It just inspired me to get out of like that rut of like, you know, when you get burnt out, you get burnt out, don't you? And then there's like no coming back sometimes. And you're like, nothing's inspiring me. I'm listening to the same stuff. But I listened to that and it's changed everything for me. Everything about music. I thought, there's no limits. There's absolutely no limits.
Do you ever get in like, because I've kind of experienced it recently, in a rut with like the music you listen to and you're like, I'm fed up of listening to like the same artist all the time. And you're trying your best to like find someone new. So like
dig in
so finding like Dark Side of the Moon or something and being like, this is exactly what I've been needing and waiting for all this time. Right now I'm in that kind of space where I've like, don't get me wrong, there have been albums that have come out this year that I absolutely love. I've been really lucky this year for music. Like we had a Green Day, we had an Alkaline Trio, we've had a I Don't Know How, we've had Childish Gambino, we had an Eminem, but I forgot about that one. That wasn't as good. But I've been lucky.
Blessed,
But I'm at the same time, I'm kind of like, I need that something
different,
new. I need something that I haven't listened to this year or even like before. I just need something. Like I kind of felt like that when I listened to Ziggy Stardust for the first time and I was like, what? This is mad. Yeah. Considering this was all done in like 72 or whatever it came out. That was one of those albums for me. That was a big one where I had that similar feeling to you with Dark Side of the Moon. Okay, well, I'd be honest, I've never listened to it.
Oh my God, I think you should listen to it now.
See, the problem I have with that and Pink Floyd is, I've heard a few songs, obviously, and like they're fine. I'm so scared of getting into Pink Floyd or Pink Floyd fans because I feel like Pink Floyd fans are so unbelievably like, they love that music so much that if you dare step out of line or share a different opinion about it, you'll be crucified.
Oh my God.
So I'm kind of scared to like delve into it at the same time. I'd love to. I probably will at some point, but like, it just hasn't been on my radar for something to listen to. I should probably make a list of like the albums I need to get to, like what's considered like the best albums of all time and try and like Apple Music did like that top 100 list, which I have opinions about, but it is what it is. I can't believe the only Bowie album on there is Ziggy Stardust though. That's criminal. Yeah. But that's a story for another time, I guess. No. Not even Scary Monsters, like nothing. That album's nothing from the Berlin trilogy.
It's mad. And Black Star as well. It's got some good stuff on there.
It's almost like they tried to limit it to one album per artist and they just picked the most popular one.
How dare
Criminal.
they?
Yeah. Ziggy Stardust is good, don't get me wrong, but I'd argue, no. Aladdin Sane might be better. That's all I'm saying. Aladdin Sane might be better.
You put this up there, all the comments.
I know, yeah. What do you mean Aladdin Sane's better? Aladdin Sane is really cool, right? You got like Mick Garson on the piano doing the craziest shit imaginable. Love that album. Even Diamond Dogs, I absolutely... People love to shit on Diamond Dogs so much, and I never understand it. Like, oh, this is Bowie burned out of like the glam rock era.
Yeah.
That album slaps. Diamond Dogs is such a good album, and the song, I think it's Big Brother. That song, even now when I listen to it, is so epic sounding that like, you listen to a good song and you get like those goosebumps.
Oh,
but the goosebumps sometimes get too
good.
Yeah. But sometimes they'll get too powerful and you can feel yourself welling up even slightly. Yeah. That's Big Brother for me. And like, I can't understand how anyone dislikes that album. It's bizarre. All right, next one. If you could perform a song with an artist on stage, what would you want to do?
If I could perform a song with any artist, does it have to be a band or does it have to be a single artist?
It could be anyone you want.
Well, David Bowie's dead, so I can't do that. That would
you could do the hologram thing.
Yeah, I would do it. I would honestly do it. I would stick it through. I'd pretend he's there and be like talking to it. I'd do it all because that's the only person I could really think that I'd love to perform with.
Yeah.
And when he died, I was like, that's it. My dream's gone. My dream's gone. It's never going to happen now.
I'll just quit.
Yeah, that's it. I'm done with music. It's not worth it.
Do you know like what song you would want to perform with him? Is there like one song in particular you'd love to?
It'd have to be Life on Mars. That's my favourite song. I know it's like one of his best ones, but I just love Life on Mars.
It's also arguably, I guess, the first appearance in like a music video of what would become Ziggy Stardust because he had the red wig, he had the makeup on and stuff. That music video is so cool as well because it's so like minimal. Simple
white but
background.
Iconic. Iconic. You do that now and people are like, oh, that's not special. It's nothing. But like back then you do something really simple and I was like, oh my God, I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find new things.
You want to talk about someone who is a master in like promotion and music videos and stuff. Like that man, endless imagination when it came to like his music videos and how he wanted to present himself. Even, just in public appearances and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but again, as we were talking about earlier, I don't think you'd be able to get away with that anymore with social media. I really don't. Unless he did a daily video every day as Ziggy or something, which would be
that'd be
weird.
so tiring. I
know. See, that's the thing with a bunch of artists that do characters and stuff now. I love, you might not, a lot of people don't like him. I love Oliver Tree.
Oh, yeah.
I love Oliver Tree.
He's really cool. Went out with Melanie Martinez.
Yeah, he did, yeah. But like he did like his original character then, I think his name was Turbo or something. But he did it so often that he was like, I cannot do that anymore. And like it's almost like he spent his entire like career since then trying to find another character to replace it. But like it just, none of them have hit the same. Like I love everything he's done. I think imagination wise, he's also like up there because some of the stuff he comes up with and like the level of like character traits that he came up with, it's insane. Like his original character Turbo had like a comic book, all the documentaries he did on YouTube in character was cool. I love that. All the stupid TikToks he made. I love he's getting his hair cut, he's in a bathtub full of like Cheetos or whatever. I love them. And like I feel sorry for him and artists that are like that because I think because they have to do it so often. You
lose yourself, don't you?
You lose yourself in the character and then you get burned out with the character and you're like, I just need to do something else. And his last album, Alone in a Crowd, he presented a new character, but like he didn't do much with it. Oh, right. Because like, I don't know if like he just didn't know what to do and felt like he had to do a character because it's what he's been doing. Like before, he had the cowboy, he had Turbo, and now he had like I think he was saying he was a fashion designer or something. But it was like all you really saw from him do it in that time was like he just did interviews dressed up as this other character, but like he didn't act any different. Yeah, and it's kind of like.
Doesn't hit the same.
No, it doesn't. And I'm wondering if someone like Bowie tried to do something like that now, would he be in a similar case of like? Because to be fair to him, he killed off Ziggy Stardust within like a year or two.
Yeah,
which is insane. Yeah, like at the end of the gig. It's good
though because he knew his limits with that.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if like, I'm wondering what the turnaround would have been if he was on TikTok and Instagram now, and even had to do it every single day. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to think about, and I kind of feel sorry for artists who like want to do something like that now, because I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah.
It sounds way too
Draining,
stressful.
yeah.
Draining as well. Yeah. I think it's much easier to just kind of present yourself. You can still lie about yourself, I suppose, in like certain aspects, but I think it's so much easier and better to present yourself as yourself.
Yeah.
Because I think it's easier for people to connect to, unless you are like incredibly entertaining and like really kind of wacky and weird within yourself. I think it's just easier just to be normal. And I think it's so much easier for people to connect with you then as an artist. And like people watch you and be like, oh, they're just like me. And I think that's cool, because then that starts people watching be like, oh, they're just like me. Then I can, what's to stop me from doing
I
what
can
they're
do that.
doing? Yeah, which is cool. Next one. Do you have a favorite song right now? What is it? And what should everyone listen to?
My favorite song right now would have to be Good Luck Babe, Chapel Roan, the one that's trending on TikTok. That one. That's my favorite one at the minute. I know it's because it's like, everyone's like, oh, it's so good because it's like trending. But for me, it's bringing that 80s sound back. And I think that's really good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to tap into that. I want to
That 80s
experiment
sound?
with that.
You
Because it's
should.
coming back. And I feel like I could do like a pop 80s song maybe in the future. So I'm thinking of going into that next.
100. I love, like, when people do like modern takes of like 80s songs now.
Oh, I love it.
Sick.
So good.
Like, there was one song in Miley Cyrus's album Plastic Hearts. The song was Night Crawling with Billy Idol. That's like my favorite song on the entire album. That album's sick anyway, but like that song was like tapping into that like 80s sound of it. That's why she got Billy Idol on there. But yeah, it was tapping into that like 80s sound, and it's sick. I love that. I love that 80s sound.
Yeah, so
even though I didn't
good.
grow up with it, like I just think it
feel
sounds
like I'm
cool.
connected to it. It just feels like home because your parents listen to it in the car, and you're like, I'm used to this.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, you should 100% delve into that. And I also think it's healthy for a music artist to try out
experiment.
Try out new genres, try out different ways of putting a song together and being like, oh, I wonder what it'll sound like if I put this instrument on there or put this sound on there. I think it's exciting. I think it's really cool. Is there any 80s artists that you like? You really like?
I'm trying to think. Oh, I know, Kate Bush.
Oh,
Kate Bush. Kate Bush.
Good answer. Yeah. I like Kate Bush a lot as well. That woman sings. So I am not, even to this day, I'm near to singer that sounds
it's so
like
different
Kate
and
Bush.
unique.
Yeah, it's unique. That's a good word for it. I'm a huge Billy Idol fan. I love Billy. I saw him last year or the year before in Cardiff.
Cool.
I love him. I got a Billy Idol tattoo. I don't know nothing. I can't show it because it's like up here. But I love him. And if I'm honest, my favorite album of his was one he did in 2014. So it's a fairly like recent one.
Yeah.
It's sick. And not enough people talk about it. It's called Kings and Queens of the Underground, and it is class. And everyone wants to talk about Rebel Yell and all the other ones that he did, but no, people need to listen to Kings and Queens of the Underground. It's class. All right, next one is, what is your dream concert lineup that you're gonna go watch? So I want 2 openers and then a headline act. What was like the dream you want to see?
Okay, so I'd open with Chapel Roan. First
as an opener?
Open.
Okay.
So that'll be like the support act, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Then I'd have another support act, Elton John.
Okay.
Okay, this is getting weird.
That's
And
wild for
then,
openers.
For the last one, I bring back Bowie from the dead, but I'd have Lady Gaga with him.
Okay.
Like a little crossover thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be my dream situation of a gig.
Did you ever watch the David Bowie tribute Lady Gaga did?
Yeah,
where she had the
dressed up,
projections and stuff. That was really cool. Apparently he was a big fan of Lorde.
Yeah, he did, because she played in his film.
Yeah. Apparently
Remembrance thing.
He was a real big fan of her because she did Life on Mars with his band, which was really cool. Okay, that's a good lineup. Insane for Elton John to be an opener.
I know.
But I mean, I'll accept it. I'll be honest, a lot of the stuff I've seen of Chaperone lately is here just like arguing with
I know. It's a bit,
photographers and stuff. Yeah.
I see a point of view with like, standing your ground and stuff.
100%.
I get that can be hard as a musician and as a woman in the industry. But also like, I feel like if you do it too much, people are going to be like, this has got to be just to get, rage bait. It's got to be. If you do it too much.
That could be a part of it. I think, like you said, like obviously you got to stand your ground with these people.
Yeah.
I think my thoughts on it is when you are a celebrity or you're a successful music artist, with that comes baggage.
Yeah.
And sadly, as much as it sucks and as much as that should not be the case at all, people like that, the photographers, the paparazzi, it is part of the parcel, and it sucks. It's awful because
it's
paparazzi
really
can be terrible.
Yeah.
They can be awful people. And if it could change, amazing. It's not going to, because that's just the way it is. I still think
it's going to, because it's a job for them to get that photo. And, the first one to get that photo and get it published, you're getting higher in your job, getting more money and stuff. So they're going to be pushy, but that's not right for them to be like that.
No, God, no.
But like you got to see it from their side as well. They're doing a job, but they shouldn't have that behavior towards an artist.
No.
Not at all.
No one should be horrible to anybody, but it's just the way it is. And I'm all for anybody wanting to stand their ground. But yeah, like you said, it gets to a point where you're like, okay. Like,
we've seen this before now. Yeah.
Especially when it was like, say it's like the same
person, yeah.
That's class.
Yeah.
She got it out for that one person.
Yeah, she remembered them that entire time and then made a beeline for him to be like, you, and then talk to you.
That guy's boss is like, you got to go to the next one.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, please don't. Yeah. I don't want to.
No.
All right. Well, that's all the fun questions I got. Thank you very much for sitting down with me.
It's okay.
But to finish things up, do you have any plugs? Anything you're doing? Any music coming out? Talk about it now. Anything you want to show to people? And then if you have a venue, a local music venue that you want to give a shout out to, now's your time.
Not really. Nothing. Well, I'm doing these big projects, but I can't really talk about at all. So I've got big projects coming up. Really big projects. Working on Welsh music now.
Yeah.
Trying to get that out and about.
What before we end it? Why did you start writing music in Welsh? Just to do something different, or did an opportunity come up? Or?
There's been lots of opportunities with Welsh music at the minute.
Yeah.
And for my career, I want to be diverse with the Welsh and the English. So I want to translate my English songs into Welsh as well.
Okay.
So I want to perform them for schools as well to show that Welsh is cool,
that's cool. Yeah,
and stuff like that. So I want to get into all that sort of stuff. I got a couple of gigs coming up, but nothing huge. But the stuff I want to talk about, I can't talk about.
Well, a gig's a gig. I mean,
gig's a gig.
Yeah, they can be fun. You gotta make the most of them. But cool. All right. Thank you very much. Everyone go stream Local Rainbow. What was the last song you put out?
Love Your Ex.
Go listen to Love Your Ex. But do you really want to love your ex?
No, not really. No.
But go stream it anyway.
Yeah.